Texas. Francisco, sophomore, comes from Jerry Fausto High School in Cincinnati. 10th in the NCAA with kickoff returns, the Fighting Irish. Of course, the Air Force ranks a little higher than that. They're in the top 5.
Well, I'm sure Air Force is really happy to come here and jump on top of them and get that early lead, because the one thing you want to do to the football team is struggle is get ahead of them.
Heading over here is Brown. They kick it to Brown. Short now. Goes back. One of the short guys has got it. That looks like fullback Chris Smith, and he brings it over the 20-yard line. And Notre Dame now takes over at a little bit better spot than they did at the start of the game. There's the scoring drive. 63 yards, we told you. Took them 8 plays, a little over 2.5 minutes. Simmons on the option pitch out made the final 5 yards, and the Air Force lead. Kevin Martin made that stop on the kickoff, but Notre Dame now will try to get something started. Scott Grooms is still the quarterback. The tailback is Alan Pickett. Fullback is Chris Smith. And here's the pitch to Pickett. Now he goes back on the flea flicker, and Grooms is going deep. He's got his man Jackson out there, but it's over his head. Notre Dame going to the tricks here in the first half. The flea flicker pitch back to Grooms, and Jackson was open. Wilson recovering, trying to get there, but the ball was just simply overthrown.
There's any question about Grooms' arms. He showed it there. He put that ball in there about 60 yards. Good play, good call. The Irish needed something to loosen them up a little bit, maybe get Air Force thinking a little bit more about the passing game than cramming up there and playing all the run.
Now they face 2nd and 10. Tim Brown is coming replacing Joe Howard. He goes out wide, both wide receivers at the right. That's the wide side of the field. Grooms had a couple of things to get loosened up on. Here he comes. Now fakes the Pickett on the play action. Here's Groom. Drills it over there. And it's hit down. Ooh, what a hit on Tim Brown by A.J. Scott. Boy, Scott really killed him over there after Brown had caught that crossing pattern, but he pays for it. Just watch this.
Oh, what a hit as we see this. Here's the crossing pattern. I see him coming across the field. Watch him catch it. Watch the hit here by A.J. Scott. Boy, that's like a Ford running over a rooster when they make a hit like that.
All that for just 4 yards. I don't know whether it's worth it or not. That must be running through Tim Brown's mind. A young freshman, but he's getting an introduction here to college football. Certainly today, if he hasn't had it before. 3rd down and 6 for the Irish. 2 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Both Howard and Jackson off the left side. There goes a penalty flag down. There's one over the middle. Great catch over here by Brown, and he stumbles out the 30, but the penalty flag had been dropped, I think, before the snap. So it could have been a dead ball foul. If so, well, it's going to be against Notre Dame, illegal procedure. But I think Air Force will take the play. But
sure,
it may not be allowed to.
No, it'll be 4th down. I believe that was a motion penalty with a man coming in motion. Started off the line of scrimmage too soon. It's going to be 4th down. They'll turn this down and force Notre Dame to punt.
All depends on whether it was a dead ball foul or not. Watch the referee, Vincent Price, and listen.
We have an illegal procedure on the blue. Decline.
Was after the snap. So Notre Dame has to give up the football. Air Force gets it back with over 4.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Air Force leads 6-0. And the punt for Notre Dame, Mike Vericola. And back is the explosive Scott Thomas. Single safety for the Air Force. Averaging 15 yards a return, and along with a 54 yards this year. And his coach, Fisher DeBerry, says he's going to break one sooner or later. Here's the punt now. Here comes Thomas up the 32. Thomas at the 35. Not this time. Notre Dame's got him covered, and down he goes around the 37-yard line. And that's where the Air Force will start this time. 1st and 10. It's about where they had it back a few minutes ago, and they marched all the way to score.
Well, they're starting off in good field position. Now they have the ball up on the 37-yard line. They came out, ran that option to the outside, really made yardage.
And Ed, Mike Brown is coming in the game for the first time in 3 games for the Air Force. He's their All-American candidate at running back. Had a great season last year. He hurt Notre Dame almost 150 yards. So here's the senior from Kansas City. Been out for a couple of games. He's back in there. Number 3 is the running back in the backfield now. He'll team up here with 25 Jody Simmons. So they've taken out Pashishniak. Roll out, pass attempt by Weiss. Weiss turning the corner, going to keep it and take the loss. Weiss driven out of bounds for a loss back inside the 35 by Robert Banks, a sophomore. First time we've seen that play, we saw a rollout and keep by Weiss, but I think that time he wanted to throw.
Well, sometimes as a coach, you outthink yourself, and I'm sure Fisher DeBerry had this call again. He wouldn't have made it. He figured, well, we may have set up for a play-action pass. That's what it was supposed to be, coming down off the option and wanted to throw the ball just to keep Notre Dame honest.
Robert Banks, number 56, a sophomore from Hampton, Virginia. And if you care about those things, he was National High School Player of the Year, according to the Columbus Touchdown Club. when he came out of high school down in the Tidewater area. 2nd and 13. There's a keep by Weiss. They got it. Weiss is caught it for a loss at the 34, and it's Banks again.
But Jim, the key to that play was Notre Dame has made an adjustment. Golick that time was out there on Brown covering the pitchman. There was no one open for him to make the pitch to. He had to hang on to the football. Now Notre Dame has made that adjustment.
All right, so a little chess game going. Now it's up to Air Force to come back with a counter move. Ken Carpenter brings the play in at split end. Air Force facing the need of a big play right here. It's 3rd down and 14 at their own 34. Davis to the fullback. Up the middle goes Evans. Doesn't get much. Jerry Winley stops him about the original line of scrimmage. So it'll be 4th, about 10 yards to go. Let's see where they spot it at the 38. So make it 4th and 10. Punting unit comes on, and Notre Dame will get back the football in quick order this time. First time they've stopped Air Force.
That's exactly right. Jerry Wiley had been an offensive lineman up till last week. He's out of LaSalle High School in Cincinnati, Ohio. They moved him to defense because of the injuries they'd had in that position.
Troy Wilson, the deep man for Notre Dame, here to receive the kick. Howard is also back there for the Irish. Here's the punt, and Mark Simon gets it away. Twisting kick. Wilson hits a hit in front of him. He goes directly out of bounds at the 30-yard line. So Notre Dame this time is going to come up with fairly good field position at its own 30, trailing by just 6 points with 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. And the Irish fans are roaring now for a rally behind Jerry Faust, the embattled coach of Notre Dame.
Well, they need to get the running game going, Jim. That's normally their bread and butter, but so far the baker hasn't been baking and the butterman hasn't been coming. They have to establish this running game to keep some of the pressure off young grooms at the quarterback position.
The rain, which had stopped, now is beginning to come down again. And the ball game is Scott Grooms, the quarterback. Grooms gives it to Pinkett, his All-American tailback, turns the corner up to the 40-yard line. He's got a first down for Notre Dame, I believe. And a penalty is going to be tacked on to the Air Force. Personal foul for hitting Pickett after he was driven out of bounds by Scott Thomas.
Well, again, as we talked about the chess game that goes on, Notre Dame now, early series, Air Force was overshifting their line to the wide side of the field. Notre Dame came out this time, ran that play into the short side of the field, and they had difficulty getting the force.
We're going to keep track of Pickett's yardage here today. He needs 100 yards to catch the immortal George Gipp on Notre Dame's all-time list of rushers. A little concern right there by Fisher DeBerry, a young first-year coach of the Air Force. Penalty takes the ball into Air Force territory. First time Notre Dame's been down here, isn't it?
Well, I think that was a close call. I believe Fisher was a little bit concerned that call was made in front of the Notre Dame bench. You know, he didn't throw him down. He was hanging on to him. Might be a little slippery. Sometimes it's hard to stop when you're in that position on the sideline.
Well, Scott Grooms, he followed Art Schleister back in their high school in Greenfield. A fumble, and let's see who's going to Notre Dame, I believe. But no, wait a minute. Air Force may have it. Nope, Notre Dame's got it. Recovered by a fullback, Chris Smith, number 32. Larry Nicholas was in there and had a chance for the Air Force. Notre Dame stalled momentarily after getting into Air Force territory. That'll be no gain. It'll be 2nd and 10 at the 44.
Yeah, you're always concerned about that when you got a new quarterback, hadn't played that much. He's got to ride that center and stay with him. Kelly's an All-American, a great pro prospect at that center position.
Jackson to the left, Howard to the right for Notre Dame in the eye. Grooms will quickly out to Howard, and it's broken up. He couldn't hang on to it, and Wilson almost had a chance to pick it off. The left cornerback for the Air Force. Intended for little Joe Howard. What a favorite he's been here at Notre Dame in his football and basketball play, carrying 2 sports. But he says, you know, I'm just kind of got to keep moving.
Well, I like what I'm seeing of Grooms right now. He audibled to that play. Howard split and then split out wider. He recognized one on coverage. Howard tried to run before he caught the football.
Now they got single coverage on Howard this time to the left side. Grooms on the deep drop. Grooms on the backfield. Fullback Smith can't hold it. He had to go to his release man. Both deep receivers, Howard and Jackson, were covered down around the 10-yard line by the Air Force. And the drop pass brings on 4th and 10 for Notre Dame. So the Irish stalls after getting into the Air Force territory. And in comes Mike Viracola. If anything, Notre Dame has held an edge in the kicking game so far. Viracola comes in. Thomas, of course, awaits for the Air Force. Ooh, close. Well, he's going to have to snap there. Going to let it go, and Notre Dame will down it inside the 10. Great coverage there by Francisco. And so the Air Force will be backed up in its deepest spot of the game. 1st and 10 at its own 8-yard line. Hiawatha Francisco went sailing down under that punt and downed it at the 8-yard line. Thomas tried to decoy by signaling a fair catch and then letting the ball hitting over his head, hoping it would bound in the end zone, but that was a great kick.
Well, that's a great, the key to that was the fact that Vericola was able to get the hang time, hold it up there for Francisco to get down and cover. Francisco and Wade, excellent special team player for the Notre Dame team.
Last time, Notre Dame stopped the Air Force option play. Let's see what they do out of the wishbone here. Mike Brown is back in at left halfback. Fullback Evans up the middle again. Gets it close to a yard. Hit at the 9-yard line and taken out by Mike Griffin on nose tackle. Big sophomore. Boy, that's a big Notre Dame line. Griffin's 254. Yan 256. Klein 278 and 6'9". Inside linebackers go 228 and 218. But Golick, an outside linebacker, is 257 and Banks 234. Air Force giving up some weight even here to Notre Dame's defense. On 2nd and 9, keep this time by Weiss. Now pitches it back, cutting inside Sims, and Notre Dame covers the play. Simmons gets over the 10-yard line, and he's tripped up over there, so it'll be short of a first down by plenty. Greg Dingens was the man that got him for the Irish. So Weiss has got to think of something else. His pet plays have been clicking so well. Now suddenly being stopped by Notre Dame.
Well, Notre Dame's made the adjustment, as we said. They instead of playing man, now they're playing a lot of zone with that cornerback out there. Instead of having to go off with a receiver, can come up and play the run, and the safety is going back to back him up in case it is a pass.
We're in the final minute of the first quarter. Air Force leads 6-0 as they face 3rd and 6. Here Weiss after play action fake. Weiss going deep down the middle of the tight end. And it is incomplete. Brennan got a hand on it at the 45. Heavily covered. And Weiss really threw that ball into a crowd.
And that's their first pass, Jim. Everything up to this point has been all runs. A couple of times they wanted to pass, but they turned into runs. That's their first pass of the day. Brennan almost made a great catch. He had that one hand out there and almost pulled it in. Notre Dame now should wind up getting good field position. Opportunity to maybe move and get back into the ball game.
There's Brennan. Boy, he tried to make a one-hand catch a la Willie Mays and didn't work. Mark Simon comes in to punt from out of his own end zone. Back is Troy Wilson for Notre Dame. That footed kicker gets it away. It's a beauty. Wilson has to backpedal all the way to his 42. Goes back to the 42-yard line. He's going to be stopped. He crosses the 45. So that gets it out of a danger spot on Mark Simon's nifty punt. Steve Sigler went down to make the tackle under the kick, and Notre Dame will now take it at its 47. But the Irish gradually getting better field position.
They're starting out with great field position. Wilson actually could have made more yards. One thing he's going to have to learn, when you're back there, you can't jump around. Catch that ball and make a decision to go, even if you make the wrong decision. But when you're moving around back there, that cover team is going to be right down on top of you.
Notre Dame goes to the split backs for the first time. And they give inside fullback Chris Smith. Drives it forward for a short gain. Remember tonight, 7:30 Eastern time, it'll be Vanderbilt, LSU from Baton Rouge with Jim Simpson and Paul McGuire.
Well, that's the kind of play that Notre Dame should have success.